Hello, 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 everyone. Give me a moment. I'm going to invite some people in. Let's see. Hello, 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 hello. It is Wednesday, midday, well, early afternoon. And so bear with me. I'm gonna just invite some people to hop on here as I have a discussion. If you are tuned in, say hello. Let me know you're here. Make sure you share. And I'm gonna start. I said I was gonna start at 3:33 p.m. So I will be prompt in starting. While we're waiting for people to hop on, definitely wave hello. Have some people share with your network. Invite some people to hop on to this discussion of talking about how healing is important to your dreams and goals. Let's see. Okay, as promised, it is 3:33 p.m. on Wednesday, December the 11th. And so I am coming at you live on the actual in the event page because this is about the conference and giving you some updates and also just discussing some things. So without further ado, let me introduce myself. My name is Listiner Inspires. I am an international speaker and award-winning author. I am also the founder and creator of Healing is a Journey, a quarterly series of conferences that are designed to help those who have gone through trauma and abuse learn how to live their best healed life. I am also a healing and recovery accountability expert. So if you are hopping on here, tuning on here, or if you catch the replay, please definitely put hashtag replay. Let me know where you're hopping in from and give your perspective and your insight because your thoughts matter. So we're talking about healing and how, and does it help? Is it helpful? Do you need to have, is it important? Let me rephrase that. Is it important that you are going through your healing process as it pertains to building out your dreams and goals? So my answer is yes. And I want to tell you why healing is so important to your dreams and goals. I've had a few questions where people were like, well, this is a healing conference. So what does dreams and goals kind of have to do in alignment with the healing? So I'm going to do an analogy. I'm going to give you like a scenario, right? For instance, say if you're trying to build something, a house, something that needs to be set on solid foundation, right? As you know, when you're building, whatever you're building on needs to be sturdy, needs to be strong enough to hold what the different levels, the different things that you're going to stack on top of it. Imagine trying to build your dream home on sand. As we know, sand by itself is not sturdy at all. You know, you can pack sand in, but if some water come, wind, it's gonna start to blow away. So, but imagine that you're trying to build your dream home on sand, and you're stacking things, you're building. You have you have the first layer, the second layer, the third layer, but it's all on sand. There's no concrete. It's just sand, and then storms happen, snow. Now, if you're in Chicago, you know, we get 4 seasons sometimes in one day. So you could have summer, fall, winter, and spring all in one day, but you get rain, you'll get wind, you'll get snow. Those elements will cause the foundation to be unsturdy. It will cause it to shift. It will cause it to, in some cases, start to wash away, blow away, depending on the elements. Well, that sand that you're trying to build your dreams and goals on, So the building is your dreams and goals. The sand is you not having healed, not having started your healing process, and you're trying to just cover up what you've gone through, just push it down and continue to build, but not address it, not deal with it, right? And so the seasons, the rain, the sleet, the snow, the thunderstorm, the weather elements, things that happen are life, things that happen in life. As you live, things will occur. You will have, if you've gone through abuse and trauma, you will have an instance where you will be re-triggered. Maybe you might watch a movie. Maybe somebody might say something. There will be times where maybe certain holiday seasons. So, seasonal depression is very real. Wintertime, when the sun is not as out as much, you can experience some depression. And that can affect your state of mind. That can affect your perspective and how you see things. Now, let's take it back and let's look at when you're building something on a solid foundation, like concrete. Cement, for instance, that's sturdy. You're pouring that in, you're smoothing it out, you're building, you're stacking. That cement is you having gone through your healing. You're solid, right? You're solid in the core of yourself because you started the healing process. You started to acknowledge the things that have hurt you in your past, or even things that you may still be experiencing, but you're acknowledging it. You are forgiving. You are moving along on the journey of your healing. And so you can start to build. You can start to build and grow on that. Now, I'm not saying someone who has not gone through healing cannot have dreams and goals. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's more of a likely chance of you seeing this through, being successful, and being even greater than what you imagine when you come from a place of being whole and healed. What does that look like? Well, if you've missed the first 3 conferences that I've had, the first conference talks about forgiveness. That was in March. The second one was talking about facing your fears. That was in June. The third one in September was talking about purpose and identity. And the one that's coming up December 28th is talking about dreams and goals. Let me backtrack. Now, as you know, the conference is called Healing is a Journey. And it's titled that way because just like life is a journey, healing is a journey. Healing is not a destination and a stop where you get to. Just like living is not it's not a destination or a stop where you get to. You should be living every day, daily, every moment, second by second. You should be living and not just existing, right? But as we know, some people are doing that because they are not aware of the difference. So with healing being a journey, with healing being something that you're going to constantly go through, but you need to start somewhere, right? So the reason that the conference is broken down into 4 parts is because, like anything, you want to tackle it in small pieces. You do, like if you have a building, you don't just start, you look at it, you have plans, but you are going to start building it layer by layer, brick by brick, room by room, parts by parts, electricity, plumbing. There's so many things that go into a building. The same thing, there's so many things go into your journey of healing. And the very first thing that you need to do in order to start healing is to forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive the situation that happened to you, forgive the person that has done these things to you. Does that mean that you're going to forget about it? Does that mean that you're going to see this person and you're going to be like, hey, what's up? No. A lot of times we think, oh, this person's really hurt me really bad. Like if you've been molested, if you've been raped, if you've gone through any type of sexual assault, which I have, learning how to forgive somebody that has violated you in such a way can be very, it can make you feel weak and vulnerable because you feel like, why should I forgive them when they have done so much damage to me? And we hear this so often saying that forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. But it's so true because when you're harboring those feelings inside of you, what's been done to you, of the hurt, the shame, all the things that come with that tends to just build up, right? It tends to just sit there. So that itself is what sometimes we push it down. We think because maybe we don't think about it like we used to, or we don't cry about it, or it doesn't affect us that like it used to, that we have dealt with it and we've healed. But true healing is you are going to acknowledge what happened to you. You're going to accept the fact that it wasn't your fault. And you're going to act on moving forward into your healing by forgiving. And that's the first part of it. Once you start to do that, now the next thing we talked about is fear. A lot of times fear is rooted in the things that has happened to us. For instance, someone that may be fearful of going out in public and talking, fearful of going pursuing their dreams because they think that they might fail. Certain fears are rooted in the rejection of what has happened to you. If you've experienced abuse, if you've experienced trauma, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's physical abuse, emotional, however it may look like, there's a spirit of rejection that comes into play because what's being done to you does not feel good, and you feel like this is not okay, but why is this happening to me? Maybe it's something wrong why this happened to me. Subconsciously, but that's not the case. But that the spirit of rejection comes in. With that spirit of rejection comes the spirit of fear. Fear will have you thinking you cannot do anything. You shouldn't, certain things you won't try to go after because you feel like maybe you won't be successful. You don't have what it takes. That is so many levels to fear. The way to overcome fear is to face it. When you have certain things that you realize that you want to do and you keep having this same thought and repeat of the what ifs, usually fear is also tied to what ifs. What if that doesn't happen? What if, right? I did a whole video about that because that's something that I've experienced where I was always saying, well, what if people don't show up? What if I don't like this? What if, like, as though I hadn't even went forth and done anything, but I was already counting myself out because I'm saying what if. So you have to face those fears. So now that you've started to forgive, you're facing your fears and you're conquering things, and that builds up your confidence. When you, for instance, I had a car accident some years ago that really that increased my anxiety, caused me to have panic attack and not want to drive on the expressway. That had been a fear, and I had to face it because if you're from Chicago, there's, north, west, south, east side. I live on the north side of Chicago. My family, my colleagues, a lot of stuff that I do is on the south side of Chicago. Typically an hour away. If I am to get to there, I need to drive on the expressway to get to that other side. And so I had to face my fear by getting in the car, saying a prayer, and just doing it. Was it easy? No. There was sometimes I had to pull over and like I would cry. When the weather wasn't permissible, if it was raining or snowing, even now sometimes I would be like, oh my goodness, it's raining. But I will still get out there and do it. And what that does is when you start to face your fear, your faith rises up to meet you facing your fear. The confidence starts to set in because you start to say, man, I did that. And that starts to build up who you are. Then we go into purpose and identity because now you're forgiven. You're starting to work on it. You're working towards forgiveness, or you have started to forgive the things that happen to you. You're facing your fears on a regular basis. Now let's figure out who you are, right? Because a lot of times if you have gone through abuse and you've experienced trauma, you somehow equate what's happened to you as part of you. And those are two separate things. What happened to you is not you. You are not your abuse. You are not your trauma. You are a wonderful creation that unfortunately these things happen to, but that's not who you are. And so you have to separate that and start to learn, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my identity? Who did God create me to be, right? Now that you realize that, now we can tackle those dreams and goals because you are well equipped. You are walking in love and forgiveness. You are facing your fears, building up your confidence, building up that faith. You are starting to understand who God created you to be, little by little, day by day. He's revealing what your purpose is to you. You can apply these things, and now you can go after your dreams and goals. You can go after it with a different perspective, right? A perspective of, I can accomplish anything. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That's one of the scriptures that I actually know by heart. Don't ask me what chapter is in the Bible. Later on, I'll go ahead and put it in the comment section. But you are also an arsenal of awesomeness because now you are well equipped. You know that you can do anything. Even if it doesn't work out the way that you had thought it would, you're still tackling it, right? You know that you're worthy of your dreams coming true. You're worthy of having that dream life. How often do we hear people think because they're a certain age, or they are in a certain tax bracket financially, or they don't feel like they have the the degrees to be able to do certain things. Yet God doesn't look at that. He doesn't look at what kind of degrees you have. He doesn't look at your bank account. He didn't ask you how much money you have in there and who all you know and where you came from. He knows all of this. And a lot of times what stop us is the very things that have happened to us in our life have implanted these doubts, has implanted these fears, has implanted this spirit of the shame, feeling like we don't fit in. Nobody would get us. How are we going to be, how can we go out and do such things that we dreamed of and we never pursue it, right? We let it sit in the back of our mind and just go and just do the thing that makes us comfortable, because if we do anything that's uncomfortable, then those things that we call that starts to make us doubt ourselves start to rise up. But I challenge you to rise up with it. I challenge you to rise up with those things that cause you to not want to go after your dreams and goals, right? I am a living testimony that God can use whoever he chooses to do his work. If you would have asked me years ago, let's say 2-3 years ago, that I would have created a conference to help people heal, I would have told you, really? How is that so? I have no degrees. I have struggled with depression, anxiety. Probably should have been diagnosed with ADD. I do have OCD. I've struggled with so much due to the things that I've gone through, but yet I refuse to let any of those things stop me. Why? Because I know that there is greater for me. I know that what I'm doing is not just for myself, but it's for others, right? Hey, Bobby! Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share. I know that what I'm doing is for others. But have I doubted myself? Yes. When God has called me to certain things, I've sat back and like, are you sure? And so I encourage anyone that if you catch this right now, or you catch the replay, don't allow what has happened to you stop you from going and doing what you have been called to do, right? Don't allow what you think is limitations to stop you from going higher and greater. Because a lot of times we will sit back and we think that we can't do this because it's already been done. But has it been done by you, right? Have you done it? Or we might think, well, I'm going to wait till the time is right. Well, the time is now. You're alive. You woke up this morning. Go do it, right? And so this is why healing is so important to dreams and goals, because when you are operating from a space and a place of healing, you will still might have you still will have some slight doubts, but you're going to go for it and do it anyway. So do I wake up every day like, yeah, I'm going to get it? No, some days I'm even like, okay, Lord, it's not going where I think it should go. I have certain things where I might feel like, okay, it's not right. But I still go forth. I do it. I still go forward. Why? Because it's a journey. Maybe I might stop and rest. Maybe I might call some of my people that had me some assistance. But I'm still moving forward, because at the end of the day, if you're not moving forward, then you're not growing. If you're not going towards something that is greater than yourself, then you're just alive and you're not living. And God has not called us to just be alive. He called us to be living, and living is to be walking in your healing and to be pursuing your dreams and goals. Everybody's dreams and goals look different. I can share a little bit of mine. I dream of traveling the world because I love to travel, eating food because I love to eat, and inspiring others to live their greatest healed life by sharing my testimony, sharing my truth unapologetically and unashamed. Hey, Jasmine Boo, share. Thank you everyone who's tuning in. I appreciate you. So what my dream life looks like is different from anyone else's. Yours is different from someone else's. Does that make it less worthy? No. Some people just have a dream of just working from home behind the scenes, chilling. And that's your dream. Then you bring that to God. You see how it can happen and you go after it. There is nothing wrong with having a what you might consider a non-entrepreneur dream. It's your dream. I'm not here to tell anyone to go and pursue full-time entrepreneurship. What I'm here to say is you were born with a purpose. You were born for a reason. And if you have dreams and goals and ideas, Go after them. Start one by one. Create a list of what you want to do and start tackling them. I had posted something a few days ago where I was like going through some of my worksheets, because though I coach, I also use the tools that I give my clients. And I was like, oh my goodness, I had a worksheet that I did about 2 years ago with my mentor, and I had written down a list of 7 goals that I wanted to accomplish. And when I looked at each one of those goals, I had done all of them. And then some of those goals, I was just like, how is that going to happen? I'm going to grab that list because I want to share it with you. I'm back. So I had 7 goals. One was products, have Rebel inspired products, shirts, hoodies, etc. I launched that last month. I launched my online apparel store, speaking engagements, schools, women's shelter, etc. I've been doing that. I've been going and speaking in schools, in women's shelters, wherever God sends me. Workshop facilitator, I have done that as well. Publish a book a year. Well, I've actually published 4 books this year, so I'm kind of ahead of the game. Create my own personalized journals, dreams and goals in general. I will, yes, it's an announcement. I actually have created them, and they will be launched by the beginning of the year. National global exposure. I have spoken in Belize. I have spoken in the Bahamas. So I'm getting that. And then full-time entrepreneurship, in parentheses, I wrote 2019. Guess what? It happened in September 2019, this year. And some of these things, in my mind, I'm like, this is far-fetched. National and global exposure, full-time entrepreneur 2019. But I wrote it because it was in my heart and I wanted to do it. And so I just want to encourage you. Don't let nothing stop you, right? Don't let your past stop you. Don't let what has happened stop you. God has called you to greater. God has kept you alive for a reason. Yes, you have gone through some things that could have killed you, but it did not take you out. So it's time for you to take out your journal and start writing these things down that God has called you to do. We live a life where we should be living our best healed life. We should be pursuing those things that we want to pursue, that makes us happy, that we love to do. We should wake up with joy in our hearts every day, not because of what we have, but because of what we're able to accomplish, because we know what we have inside of us is going to be gifted to the world, because we know that we're walking in our healing and we're doing great things. So I thank everyone for tuning in. If you want to be a part of an environment where people can pour into you, if this live really blessed you, please definitely share it out with your people. But also plan to attend the conference. December 28th is a private location. Once you purchase your tickets, we will be disclosing the locations to the attendees. You will not be disappointed. I'm just here. My panelists are amazing. The speakers that are going to be speaking, the performers, they are amazing. I'm excited for them to show up and show out. I'm excited for God to show up and show out, because I know He will. And there'll be resources. There'll be people you connect with. I would love to see you in the place. I love everyone who's tuned in. Please share. Remember, healing is a journey. Have a blessed day.